Hello and welcome. Today I'll be making something with these salvages. I have so many of them. I just like them, but so we'll see how it goes. Just stay with me and we'll make something out of it. Yesterday I started out by putting some salvages on a piece of muslin which measures 5.5 by 15 inches, 5.5 inches wide by 15 inches long. So today I'll make a similar one and we'll see where that takes us. So I'm putting the first piece of selvage on the muslin and I'm attaching it right at the edge there. I'm sewing right at the very edge of the selvage. This next piece of selvage has a little fraying to it, but that's okay. As long as you sew below that fraying part, it should be good. But make sure you catch the bottom of the first piece of selvage. Okay, I've completed sewing the selvages to the muslin, and as you can see there's a lot of pieces hanging down. Some of them were really long, so I'll be cutting those off and saving them for another project, and just kind of kneading it up, making it neater looking. So what I've decided to do with these two pieces of fabric is to make it into a hot pad in the kitchen, for the kitchen. And I have pieces of scrap batting that I will be sewing together to make it a whole piece for this project. What I've also decided to do here is to add some fabric in the middle and maybe some borders just to make the hot pad a little wider. And this way, maybe it'll be more useful for bigger pots or things like that. I didn't have enough of that blue fabric for the borders on top and bottom and the other sides, so I think I'm going to have to look for another piece of fabric. I did manage to find this purple fabric that I think will be enough for the borders and for the backing of this small quilt. I guess it is a small quilt. And so I'll be cutting this up and sewing it on. So I've cut the borders and I cut them about 1.5 inches wide and sewed them on to the pad there. And I'll continue putting the little quilt together. I'm straightening up the batting pieces so that the edges are straight. When I sew the pieces together, it'll be a lot easier. Okay, the pieces of batting, I only needed about 4 pieces there, and I'm putting the little quilt sandwich together here. I didn't have any adhesive, any spray adhesive to hold it down, so I have to use safety pins. To piece the backing fabric together, because I really didn't have too much, but I had just enough for this, so that was good. It was, I didn't have to look for anything else, any other fabric. I'll just be using straight lines to do the quilting with the walking foot, which will make it a lot easier and faster. Okay, I've finished the quilting, and now it's time to cut out the extra fabric all around it and put the binding on. I had some scrap binding from leftover quilts that I'll be using. This is the one here, and I just have to iron it a little bit because it's wrinkled up, and then just put it on. Didn't record this. What I did was I'm not going to put the binding on in the traditional way. What I will be doing is cutting it on an angle, and then, well, you'll see it later what I'm doing, but I didn't record this part. I just cut it at a 45-degree angle, one end of it, and I will be attaching it to the quilt that way. Here I'm showing how I'm folding it over the angled piece that I just cut, and then folding the binding over and attaching it that way. Okay, the way I'll be sewing this binding down is to unfold it at the beginning, just so the bottom half of the binding to the back of the quilt, I would say maybe go down about 4 or 5 inches, stop, then fold it back up, and continue sewing both edges to the quilt. As we come to the end of this side, stop about a 1/4 inch away from the end, pivot, then sew down to the point and backstitch, and then we fold over the binding as shown in the next few minutes. Okay, this is how we will be folding it in order to have a mitered corner. You place the binding upwards in a 45, I guess it's a 90-degree angle, I'm not sure. And then you fold it back down. You sew it and backstitch right there at the beginning, and then just continue sewing down that side. I'm sorry I haven't shown how I joined the two pieces of binding together, but I thought it was recording, but it wasn't. But what I did was I just put the end piece, inserted the end piece of one binding into the other where we had left the opening at the beginning. And that's how I did that. So I'm sorry again, I apologize for that. What I'm doing now is attaching the binding to the front. I folded it over from the back to the front and sewing it there. So the hot pad is finally finished. Here it is, and this is what it looks like. So the burning question was, why Save Selvages? And this is the answer: to make little projects. I don't know how much I've used because I still have a whole lot left, but I guess those for other projects. Thank you for watching.